Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today, I'm going to go deep and dirty into building community leads and an email list. Now, you can call it whatever you want. These are basically all the same thing. And it's so important when you build community, you build an audience, you want to make an impact, that you're getting leads, you're getting cash into your pocket, and most importantly, you're building an email list. So the reason why, obviously, this topic is so important is last week, I think everybody saw when Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp went down. I got a couple messages from my clients freaking out, thinking, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to contact my community? Or I have this workshop, or I have to launch this event and I can't connect with my audience. And it really just goes to show you that you do not own your followers, your people on Instagram. And I see this all the time. Even when Instagram or TikTok changes their algorithms, all of a sudden, nobody's seeing my stories, or not as many people are seeing my posts, right? So you start to see how the algorithms start to impact who sees your message. So I want to make sure that everybody sees your message and you have, I don't like using the word control, but at least you have a little bit more say in who sees what and the message that you're putting out there. Okay, let's dive in. So I'm going to try to make this as quickly and condensed as possible. I'm going to give you a ton of info. Please don't think you have to do it all, because I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Just pick and choose what you like, and then we're going to set up an action plan at the end. So I'm giving you forewarning that I'm giving you lots of content. So here I am. If you don't know who I am a speaker, coach, and content creator. I mostly focus on supporting entrepreneurs to build their business, as well as shifting their mindset, because as you build your business, you're going to get so many mindset things coming in, and they all work as one. How you do one thing, you do everything, which is why in my leadership course, Launch Your Power, we talk about networking, relationships, and business, all the above. And we actually can implement the same techniques in each of those areas, because business, I believe, is really about how you show up as the best version of yourself in order to impact and serve others, right? So I accidentally started a community 4 years ago called the Ladies Community, and I was single in the city, and all of my friends were married, had kids, and I really also saw a shift. I wanted to really be intentional about the types of women that I surrounded myself with. I wanted to surround myself with women who were truly uplifting, who we could support each other and really be happy and proud of each other for our success. I didn't want to get into the nitty gritty patterns that women fall into of like gossiping and comparing yourself and insecurities and putting everybody down. That just wasn't my thing. So I actually went online. I went on Bumble to find friends. And at the time, my guy friends were making so much fun of me. They're like, you're not even online for dating, but you're online to meet friends. And really quickly, I saw how time consuming it was, because I was talking to so many people, and really, I'm not really an online person. And so I just wanted to meet people in person. And so what I did was I started inviting everyone I had met online. I said, look, let's just all go for a glass of wine. But quickly I saw, okay, this is getting really complicated, because if I'm inviting everybody that I know to get a glass of wine, and I'm telling everybody else on Bumble to invite who they know to get a glass of wine, we're now trying to get the message out to so many people, and it's exhausting. So I'm just going to create a Facebook group, and every time I create an event or a meetup, we'll just post it in this Facebook group. And that's how that started. And then all of a sudden I was getting hundreds of people coming out to these events. And then people said, we want more of them. And then from there, I started doing more speaker series, different types of events. And that's kind of how the community grew. Super organically, completely by accident. And here's what's really, really important. I just kept following the next best step. So I want to remind you, if you're watching this workshop right now, please do not compare your step 1 to somebody else's step 10 or where you are on your journey. We're planting the seeds. Building community, you're planting the seeds. You are following the next best step. You may not see that growth overnight, the flower overnight, but as it progresses and grows and you nourish it and you give it love, then it continues to grow. So don't look for your flowers too early. I make up stuff all the time. So nobody ever says that, but I'm saying that. Okay, so I really want you, when you go into a community build, to ask yourself, why am I actually building a community here? What are my goals? Do I want to create more impact? Do I want to support others? Do I want to increase engagement in the content and the resources that I'm currently putting out there? Do I want to grow my community? If so, why? Do I want more leads? Do I want more sales? Do I want more revenue? Do I want to network with amazing people, right? If I were to look at, and this is okay for your reasons to change. When I first started the ladies community, it was really to network and to meet new people. And then I started to want to make more impact and support and then grow, and then moved into more lead generation because I thought, well, this is just taking way too much time. I need to actually be making some money doing this because of all the time that I'm putting in. Then you move into lead generation, sales, and your email list, right? So I cannot emphasize enough how important an email list is. I've worked with clients who have hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram who don't have an email list. I have also seen people with hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram who can't even sell a sweatshirt. It does not matter how many followers you have if you can't nurture your community and generate leads and then convert that into sales and cash in your bank account. I truly believe that you can make an impact and still make money. The belief that, oh, if you're serving others, you have to be poor is not real. So really look at yourself and see, can I still be abundant while supporting others? Do I have any money blocks in there? Whenever I talk about revenue or cash in the bank, are you getting triggered? And do you have money blocks that are holding you and your business back from moving forward? So one thing is really important when you are building community is I need you to be very intentional and be aware of, okay, is this initiative helping me to nurture my current community or expand and build my community greater? Oftentimes people are getting those confused. They do things to nurture and think that it will be giving them building. Or they're focusing on building and then forget to nurture their community. So they start losing their current community while they're building and bringing in more leads. Does that make sense? So make sure to always remember nurture versus build. What is this? What am I doing? What is my goal and intention with this activity and initiative? And we'll talk about this more when I give you all the different steps to build community. So we have nurture. When you're nurturing your current community, this is all about giving value, providing engagement, giving them quick wins so that they continue to engage with you. It's like a friend. You're building relationship with your current community. Ways to do that, you can survey them, find out who they are, what their struggles are, what their challenges are, what they want, what their dreams and desires are. Start polling them, asking them questions. What are you going through? What's happening right now? I would not know what my community was going through if I didn't ask them. Even when COVID hit or different world events happen, I have to ask them, how are you guys feeling about this? How are you doing? Keep checking in to know where they're at so that you can continue to provide relevant information and resources. As well, discussions, polls, surveys, they all kind of do the same thing. Now, nurturing, you already have their email most of the time. I hope you do. So when you do a nurture versus build, which you'll see in the next slide, we want to be looking at, okay, are you giving information or are you also giving information to collect emails, right? It's so important for you to know building your social media does not mean you're building community. It does, but you have to make sure you're giving a call to action to actually get emails. The whole purpose of this, you need emails. Okay, so I want to make things very, very clear. Now, I also want you to be intentional about the type of community you want to build. This does take intention. So if you want your community to stand for certain values, whether it be growth or acceptance, love, all of that sort of stuff, it does take intention for you to communicate that to your audience so they know if your community is right for them. If not, I do see sometimes, mob mentality takes over and people will start to run your community for you. So it's really important for you to have that intention. Just be mindful of and intentional about what I want to create, and then make sure that you're communicating that and the community knows what your community guidelines and values are, because really your community is a living, breathing thing. So you're always kind of connecting, checking in, and making sure that you're all on the same page and that you're providing value. All right, so what's really important to consider before you decide, how am I going to build my community? These two questions. What are you actually selling? Are you selling something? Do you want, when you go into community build, and this goes back to the other slide of why are you building community? Are you selling something? Are you wanting to sell your program, your course, your event, your product, whatever it is? Now, the reason I ask this before we break down all the different methods of building community is because if you build community and you just want to keep them there and nurture them in an email list or social or whatnot, that's very different than when you build to actually get the cash for it right away. Because when you move into a community build initiative, you are really in a lot of momentum. People want to know, okay, great, I love her, I love him, what's next, right? What do I do next? And this moves into this next customer experience. Where do you want them to go? If you build community and then they just kind of sit there like sitting ducks, they want to know, they want to love you, they want to know who you are. Make sure you have this, you're thinking about this, and we're going to come back to this in the action plan, but make sure you're thinking about, okay, what is the customer journey? When I go into community build, what do I have for them? And what can I provide them? If you don't have anything, that's okay too. Just continue to nurture them. If you're not selling anything, a community is always worth it as long as you're getting their email addresses. But it's something to consider if you're looking to generate sales and revenue from your community build. Now, just quickly coming back to what are you selling? Depending on if you're selling high ticket, low ticket, group, individual, a product, what you're selling may also impact the initiative that you decide to go with for your community build. Is this all making sense? Thumbs up in the chat box if you're still with me. Okay, I know we're going through a lot. So if you want to send me a DM and or hop on a quick strategy call to figure out what method is best for you, I have that. So I'll pop it up at the end in order to send me a DM on Instagram. Okay, ways to build community. Look at them all. I mean, a challenge, free download, virtual summit, interview, podcast, collaboration. I mean, I'm not going to spend 5 minutes going through this whole thing because we're going to dive into each and every one of them and the benefits and how to do it. So you can see all these different ways to build community. You don't have to do them all. It's really about finding out what's best for you depending on your goal and what you want to sell and or what your business looks like. Okay, one thing that's really important to note is free versus paid content. So a lot of times when people go into a community build, I see them make some mistakes. I see them say, okay, great, I'm going to do this challenge and I'm going to charge $50. I'm going to do this summit, I'm going to charge, so if you charge versus do a free offer, a free download, a free challenge, a free summit, there are some benefits and disadvantages to both. If you do something free, you're going to get a lot more volume. It's easier to sell in an ad. There's a very low barrier to entry, right? They're going to be like, yep, I want that. So you're going to get a lot more emails in your email list. You can then, when you get them in your email list, do an automated email series where then you can funnel them into other things and qualify them into your program or package or whatever call to action you want them to take. As well, if you do a free download, you can always send them to something that's paid after. And I'm sure you've all seen this. We have a free download. Yeah, this is awesome. I want this. And then they say, okay, great. Would you like this $5 meditation to go along with it? Would you like this free or this paid one-on-one call to go along with your free download, right? So you can have tiers and steps, but the first step is always free. Now with paid content, again, it depends how much you are actually asking for. If it's $4, $7, $12, $17, $47, $100, it really starts to lower the amount of people that are obviously going to purchase. It does, however, qualify them as serious buyers. And you are more likely, if somebody pays for something, they're more likely to spend in the future. Now, honestly, when I'm going into community build, I prefer going free and then adding a bump up, or what they call a tripwire, of paid content. So I say, great, come on in with my free download, my free summit. And then they can always add on something paid, which is $7, $17, whatever, in order to get that buyer's list and to know who's willing to buy things, right? But I've seen a lot of clients also be successful with a $4, a $5, a $7 community build initiative, because you know it's kind of a no-brainer. You're offering a ton of value for very, very little money. And when they have money in the game, you know, they always have a little bit more skin in the game. So that's just something to consider. However, like I said, I really, really love the free and then the added bumps and tripwires of paid content. But there is no wrong answer here. This is where you really need to decide what's best for you and your business. Okay, I want to go a little bit more into your customer journey. And this is basically this list here, ways to build community, but broken down, because this is very important to understand. When you build community, there are ways to make sure that you're getting their email address, and then there are ways to promote. Again, too often people get those confused, right? So make sure, so I broke it down. Ways to actually collect emails, challenges, downloads, summits. They're giving you their email in exchange for information. Then whatever that free offer is, or low ticket offer is, I'm going to say free for simplicity, whatever that download is, you then promote it through collaborations, ad, Facebook groups, social media, right? So I'm separating these into two so you don't get confused that networking apps, social media, Facebook groups, ads, collaborations, those in itself do not build community because they're not building your email list, but those enhance the initiatives above. That makes sense? Okay. So, I mean, in theory, they build your community, but the criteria that I'm taking in this webinar is they do not build your community unless you're getting their email, right? Especially, like we said, going back to the Facebook, Instagram thing, you don't own the community if you don't have their email and a way to contact them. Don't get confused. Okay, so now I'm gonna break down all the different methods. So if you're doing a challenge, a download, or a mini course, I love these initiatives. A couple tips, the shorter the better. A 3-day challenge is way better than a 27 days challenge. You wanna make sure same with the download and a mini course, shorter is better. You want them to get a quick win. If it's too long, they're gonna trail off, and then whatever call to action you want them to take after the challenge or after the download, they're not gonna take because they're bored and they're already gone already. So you wanna give them a ton of value, really quick, give them a quick win, and you want them to be thinking, wow, she really knows her stuff. This really worked. I love her. I want more. Okay. And then from there, you're going to give them a call to action. So let's quickly go through this in your head. And I wrote it out here. What is the customer experience for your challenge, your download, or your mini course? What's going to happen is they're going to give you their email in an opt-in page. And I know there's a lot of tech information in here, and I'm saying a lot of tech words. So if you don't understand, let me know. We can hop on a free call. I totally get it. When I first heard all this stuff, it was literally like hearing Japanese. I had no idea, in one ear, out the other. I was super overwhelmed, but you learn it pretty quickly and then it becomes a lot of fun. So customer experience for a challenge, download, a mini course. They're gonna go to a page where they're gonna give you their email. Then they're gonna get an automated email with information about the challenge or the download or the mini course, so they know how to actually do it. Then from there, you could send them to a paid, right? To something else paid that they can upgrade to. or you can do that in the email sequence as they get to know you better. Then you want to give them some sort of call to action. Okay, great. What do I do now? They have your download. They got amazing results. Now what? Are they just sitting there, or is it very clear where you want them to go next? Great. Join my Facebook group. Join this next initiative. Join this event. Get on a one-on-one call with me. Buy this product. Whatever it is, you want it to be very clear that that can be done through email, that can be done through your actual challenge. I would recommend both. Does this make sense? So much information here. I know I can feel it already. I'm like, wow, this is a lot, but it's so important for you to have this. Now, the ads and collaborations, that's how you promote and magnify the results that you're going to see from these community build initiatives. So one of the biggest mistakes I see is people go through all this work to do a challenge, a download, a mini course, and then they never promote it. So they get 10 people going through this workshop, or 15 people, or 100, and everything is better than nothing. But I really want to make sure that if you're going to put in the work to do something, you're going to see the maximum results. Now, workshops, webinars, masterclasses, events. I love these too. These are amazing. So the first step is for you to decide, what do I want to do? What kind of format? Is this going to be a 1 hour, a half day, a full day, a live? Is it virtual? And this is usually free, or again, low ticket, very, very low ticket. And then you want to provide a ton of value. So here's the difference. And you're going to see this workshop that you're on is not a good example of this, because this is not a sales workshop. This is just complete value for the membership and my clients and the community. But if this were something that I wanted to make sure that you bought something after this workshop, or I was trying to include this workshop or webinar as part of a sales cycle, it would be very different. So the biggest mistake I see is people giving way too much value. So they're going to tell you everything they know, how to do it, what to do. And then that person leaves your workshop and says, oh, that's great, I'm just going to do it all myself. And that's good. That's okay too. However, it's a lot more effective. I want you to be very intentional about what kind of content you provide when you're doing a free, again, it depends if it's free or paid, but if you're doing a free workshop, usually it's most effective for you to focus on what they need to do, not the specifics on how, so that they purchase your product and or whatever you have in order to find out the how. So your main goal on these free workshops and events are to give them perception shifts. What does this person need to believe in order to purchase what I have to sell them, right? And this conversation right now with you is very business intensive and really focused on your emails and generating revenue. So if that is not your goal, then your strategy might be a little bit different, but I want to make sure that you're also making money while you're creating impact. So figure out, what is your format? When are you going to do it? What is the content that you're going to give in this workshop? I will actually do a workshop just on webinars because it's transformational as well. If you want more information on how to do an effective webinar, look up Russell Brunson's Perfect Webinar, and he will give you a ton of information there. Now, the customer experience for a workshop or webinar is going to be similar to the challenge, but a little bit different. So they're going to register right on an opt-in page. They're going to get an automated email saying, great, you're registered. Here's where you need to go at the time of the event or masterclass. They're also going to get a couple emails reminding them, make sure you show up, make sure you come, because a lot of people don't show up when they register for a workshop, this workshop included. Then you're going to actually have the workshop, the webinar or event. You're going to be very clear on what your offer is. What are you offering them? What is the call to action that you want the people who are attending this workshop to do? The great thing is when people attend a workshop or a masterclass, your sales are a lot higher than email. So I use my email to promote a workshop or webinar, knowing that my sales are going to be better because they get to meet you, they get to build connection, and you get to continue to give them value. And they think at that end, you want them at the end of the event or the masterclass, whatever you want to call it. Wow, like I really need that. That makes total sense. or, this isn't for me. But you want them to be very clear on, is this for me or not? I totally need this. She's so right. And I need to, what do I need to do next in order to solve that problem? And that's usually you're providing the solution to their problem. Then again, you want to make sure we maximize this effort. If you're going to do a workshop, a webinar, a masterclass event, you want to make sure you promote it. You want to make sure you can do ads, you can get in Facebook groups and share it. You can ask people to share it for you. You can obviously promote it on social, and just make sure that you're maximizing your results and your effort. Okay, survey, quiz. Oh, my picture is survey, quiz, Facebook groups. So these are really great for engaging, nurturing. These aren't as good for community build. However, they are still necessary. And when you do a quiz or a survey, you can still get emails, same as Facebook groups, but sometimes they take a little bit more building relationship, right? So if you do a quizzes are really fun. They're great on a website. They are great on an ad. It's how to find out your business style or your CEO style. It's something super fun. If you do that type of quiz, that is more similar to a download or a challenge, right? They're giving you their information to get the results from their quiz or to take the quiz. Then you're giving them a call to action. If you're doing a quiz that's more like a survey, where you're surveying and polling and getting information. So, you know what? I'd probably move quiz. I'm doing this live. I'd probably move quiz to a download or challenge and keep this slide as survey in Facebook groups. So survey in Facebook groups, I want you to be really intentional about, what do I need to know about these people? What would be super valuable information for me to know to provide them value? What can I ask in order to identify my ideal target demographic? So when you do a survey, you want to know, who are these people and is this person my ideal target demographic? From your survey or your discussion in a Facebook group, I'm sure you see these all the time in Facebook groups where people say, hey, are you struggling with anxiety or whatnot? They ask specific questions to pull out their ideal target demographic. These are really great at long-term community build. They do take more effort and initiative, but these are also really great ways to add to your community build initiative and or promotion initiative. So you want to be very clear, either in DMs or via email, post survey or post Facebook discussion group, where are you sending them, right? So within a survey, you're going to get their email in the survey, and then you will do the call to action via email. In a Facebook group, you're going to post different polls and questions in your Facebook group, and then you can either send them a DM or send them a call to action. That makes sense? So if you're going to do this within your community build initiative, just make sure you're very clear on the call to action. You're giving them incentive. Why should I fill out this quiz? Why should I fill out this survey? Is there a reward? Is there a contest? And then make sure that you, within Facebook groups, when creating discussions, are very intentional about the questions that you're asking. Also know, when you're doing community build, you may do something and you think, well, that didn't really work well for my community. That's okay. I'm giving you so many options here so that you have options to choose from, and you can pick and choose and continue to adapt. Just because it doesn't necessarily work for you doesn't mean it doesn't work. And just because it didn't work once doesn't mean it's not going to work the next time, because we can always modify and change. But if you want help on which ones are best for your business, honestly, let me know. Send me a DM. We can hop on a call. Okay, next. So giveaway, promo, bonuses. I like these methods. However, again, you have to make sure you are giving a strong call to action to get their email. So some bonuses that work really well with your current community for your current community to almost act as promoters for you is to give your current community different incentives, like a BOGO, buy one, get one, or bring a friend for free, that sort of thing. Those are really good to increase community while still collecting their emails and your current community doing a lot of the work for you. Now, if we're looking at volume, These do not grow your community as much as a download, a webinar, or a summit, an interview that we'll talk about next, okay? So just manage your expectations and know what, based on my goals, what are the best things to do in the best order, right? Because business is all about knowing what to do next and what to do in the right order, because you don't want to be spending all this time on a giveaway thinking you're going to get one thing and you're not. So just be very clear on what are my outcomes going to be for this and what will best match my call to action and my customer experience that I want them to have. So giveaways are also really great on social, but you want to make sure if I'm doing a giveaway where they're tagging people and I'm giving away money or a purse or something really fun. By the way, monies and purses usually work best for giveaways, especially for a female audience. That I want to make sure if I'm doing a giveaway and I'm building my community initiative on social, remember, that does not count as community build. So I want to make sure to follow that with promotion of my free download or my workshop or my webinar so I can capture those emails. Do you see how they all kind of work together? And it's this intricate web. And that's why, doing this workshop and even talking about this, I know that it can sound confusing and overwhelming if this is all new, but if it's not new to you, then these are some really great nuggets to really beef up your marketing plan and your marketing initiative so that you can make the biggest bang, get the biggest bang for your buck. Okay, these I love. I love summits, collaborations, and interviews. So what is a summit? A summit is where you will interview 10 to 15 other influencers, and it'll be a 20 to 30 minute conversation. You can record it or do it live, and people are going to register to attend this summit. So it's kind of like a live event where you're collaborating with others. The biggest theme here is collaboration. Now, I'm going to start. You see how I say criteria? The criteria of who you interview in this event is very important. You have to make sure they have a community that they can share, right? They'll share the event with their community. A good goal is to make sure that they have an email list over 5,000 people so that they will email their community about it. They will promote it on their social so that you are essentially you're all promoting within your community so that everybody's community builds. Does that make sense? So within that, you also want to be very clear when speaking to them that this is a collaborative effort. You're not just wanting to steal their community and like poach from their community. What's in it for them? Make sure that it's mutually beneficial and that you're providing some sort of value for them and incentive for them to be part of your event or summit. Now, a couple other things to note within your event or summit. Your title or theme for this event or summit is very important because you want to make sure that the people that will actually give you their email, and this goes for everything today, make sure the people that are going to give you your email are the people you want. So I see so often people get confused when they say, okay, I'm going to do a summit. Let's say you're in the fitness industry. They say, okay, I'm going to do a summit on how to drink more water. That seems to make sense, right? You're in the fitness industry, it's all good. However, what they're actually trying to sell is their, weight loss course or something, or their toning course. Do you see how people who sign up for a summit about how to drink more water are not necessarily the same people that are going to buy the course that they're trying to sell? Do you see that? So make sure that there's a direct link between the people that are going to give you their email are the exact people that are going to follow through on whatever call to action that you give them. All right. So this workshop would not be complete if I didn't mention social media. Social media is very, very valuable to expand community, to make an impact, to promote what you're doing. However, like I said at the beginning of this workshop, having a social media following is not equal to community if you do not have their email address. So any initiative that you do within social media, like you see here, make sure you're giving a call to action Are you giving them a download? Are you giving them summits, events, a challenge, a mini course, so you can collect their email and funnel them through your sales cycle? Make sense? So a couple tips to maximize your social media initiative. I see at the time of this video is very, very prevalent. Reels, video, it helps with authenticity, relationship building. You need to make sure you're also consistent. You're providing a ton of value, tips, actionable steps that they can take from your content in order to change their life. You want them to get wins. You want them to see results just by looking at your free content, so that they're more likely to move in through your sales cycle. Other tips are to make sure that you share your story, you provide disruptive content that's going to kind of make them think, and that you're really clear on your message. Who are you? What makes you different? And what do you stand for? Then you also can consider the different formats of social media and which one's right for you. You do not have to do it all, but know that they all attract different people. So Instagram is really good for a lot of value, a lot of content. People still purchase from Instagram. TikTok right now is one of the fastest growing platforms. It does run on the younger side, however, is increasing. So I notice you can build on TikTok so much faster right now. And I'm getting a lot of my ideal target demographic. Are they ready to buy? Maybe not as much as Instagram, but I do think that's going to change soon. Pinterest is really great for women. A lot of women go on Pinterest for inspiration, for quotes, for recipes. So depending on your industry, Pinterest might also be really great for you. YouTube is really valuable for, you can get a little bit of a longer video on YouTube, and people use YouTube like Google. So your conversions for purchase are a lot higher on YouTube than any other platform. LinkedIn is really great for the professional. So if you're working with a lot of professionals or corporate, LinkedIn might be for you. And Facebook is really great to build your own custom communities or be part of other Facebook groups in order to expand and connect with others. So that's just a quick summary of some of the different social media platforms. There's still many more, but something to consider. Just make sure you're using the right platform for your business and just take it one step at a time. Okay, quick summary. Here are all the things we talked about today. We talked about a lot: challenges, downloads, webinars, summits. I want you to just think of what would be fun. What would I really enjoy? What would my community enjoy? And what are one of the first things I want to try? So, action plan. You don't have to do it all. What I want you to do after this workshop is write down, okay, get an annual calendar, get all your months in front of you, and think about, okay, what would be some community growth initiatives that I want to try this year? Am I going to do a summit? Am I going to do a couple downloads, a challenge, a quiz? What format of download do I want? Even within your format of download, you can do a quiz, an ebook, a checklist. You know, there's lots of different downloads that you can do. And then, okay, great. How am I going to make sure that I maximize my initiative on there? How am I going to promote it? Am I going to collaborate with others? You know, write a list of people that could share your community growth initiatives. Or am I going to engage in Facebook and Instagram ads or Google ads? Or I usually do Facebook and Instagram ads, but Google might be right for you depending on your industry as well. So just look at, okay, how am I going to maximize the effort that I'm putting into these community growth initiatives? And then I want you to create your marketing plan, right? This is how I'm going to market. This is how I'm going to grow my community this year in 2022. And then the really important part, which a lot of people miss, is I want to make sure that my marketing plan, my community growth initiatives line up with my sales cycles. So example, you're going to build community usually right before you want to sell something, because like I said, you're in momentum. They want to buy. They're thinking, great, I love this person. What's next? So make sure that you connect it so that you're going into community growth, and then what are you doing after? Be very intentional about how you set that up so everything kind of makes sense, right? Now, if you have any questions about this, and I know every industry is different, every business is different too, depending on who you are, what your goals are. Do you want to make a lot of money right now? Do you already have community? Do you not have community? Your business strategy might change depending on your goals and where you're starting. So if you want to hop on a call, let me know. Here's my Instagram. So you can follow me at I am Vanessa O, send me a DM, let me know that you were here. You can send me an email as well if you have any questions. I am vanessa@gmail.com. And then as well, I've mentioned this a bunch on this call. If you want to hop on a free strategy call to go through your community growth strategy and or sales strategy or launch strategy and or just specifics on, okay, how the heck do I do this summit? Or how the heck do I do this free download? Because I know there's a lot of tech details, right? Well, I need an opt-in. I need to optimize this free download. What do I do with my automated emails? There's lots of tech stuff that goes into it, but this is really the bigger picture of different ideas that you can do in order to grow your business. So just DM me community, either via email or on Instagram, or you can even pop it in the chat box right now if you're live, and then we can connect and hop on a free call. So I thank you so much for being here. I really popped out a ton of info really fast here. I hope this has helped you. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to stop the recording, but if you're here live, I will allocate some time for Q&A. So thanks so much. And if you're watching the recording, feel free to send me an email if you have any other questions. So thanks so much for being here, and I will chat with you soon.